This Town Home Spec Inspections, getting ready to do an inspection this afternoon, 10990 East 112th Place. Getting started here, trying to beat the rain here a little bit early. This is an ASHI inspection. ASHI, the American Society of Home Inspectors. A copy of ASHI Standards of Practice is given with the home inspection contract and is the contract. What we're looking for here, hopefully there aren't any, but we're looking for any major electromechanical structural problems that may dissuade a buyer from buying the property, okay? Looking for major issues. I'm not looking for holes in screens or dandelions. Looking for stuff that electrician, a plumber, a furnace person, or a structural engineer might pick up, okay? Not a cosmetic nickel and dime inspection, okay? And if we do find issues, say you have issues with the roof, you know, you have the roofer come out, the engineer come out, the plumber come out, the furnace guy come out, that kind of stuff, the window guy, to further evaluate the red flagged issues on the home inspection. The reason for that is it's not I think it might be a problem. No, it's a problem, but how to fix it, different ways of fixing it, and the price of fixing it is the variable, okay? So there's lots of different opinions on price and cost and how to fix the same exact problem by different people. They have different opinions on how to do stuff, especially in structural stuff. Generally, we don't have those issues. I'm going to start on the roof and work my way down. Oh, this looks like the original 3-tab shingles. This slope here looks pretty good. They do have one low nail there. We'll have to look at the rest of it, see how it's going. Reason I'm thinking this is original, about a 12-year-old roof, is because they don't have any drip edge flashing in here. See that raw wood there? No metal flashing in here. You see how it's leaking down underneath there? So, yeah, not really supposed to take the wood. Yeah, it's all rotted out there and put it that close to the bad flashing detail there, and it's not even flashed here either. See that? Water going behind here. So it's a little nitpicking stuff. But new construction, you can't do this. So anyway, you look at the rest of the roof here. Okay, this other slope of the roof doesn't look too bad, actually. Now these 3-tab shingles only last about 15 to 20 years. Okay, so then you do have nail pop there. See that? A few little snafus here and there. Let's see, get up here on the summit. There's our pigeons flying away. Oh, yep, this is worn out. Yeah. The shingles are worn out on this slope. They're raw, see the, yep. Worn out. So I thought this is the part that really takes the beating from the sun. Actually, it's dangerous to be up here because the granules are falling right out. Have a missing shingle. That's all part of the roof wearing out. And you have pigeons hanging out up here. You might want to. They got roost no more, they call it. Gets rid of them. Those owls or whatever don't work, so don't. Oh, you got lots of blown off shingles there. So you can come up here and patch this stuff. But you know that'll work for this slope. You could get by with the cool slope here, probably the north slope, but the south and west slope is worn out. The granules are gone. So, I've been doing this forever, so don't let any roofer or anybody fool you into thinking that this doesn't need to be replaced, okay? You see the seams of the gutters leaking, and the leaking there is because you don't have drip edge flashing. Plus, those little seamed gutters, they all need to be caulked there every couple of 5 to 10 years or so. You caulk your outside lights. See the big gap, water goes behind there. Just basically finished building the house here. Concrete is what they call spalling or chipping up. The good news is it doesn't have anything to do with the house, but just so you don't waste money, those skim coats, those epoxy magical skim coats, they don't work, so don't waste any money on them. The only way to fix this is start over, okay? Bust it up, start over. Ground needs some paint and caulk and stuff, touching the grade here, rotting out here a little bit there. This is a wood fiber product here. Not very good stuff. Basically, it's cardboard. It will last, but you need to take care of it. And it should be a gap between here so you don't wick up the moisture from the rain. Yeah, this is getting to the point where you might need handrails. Looks like they might have had handrails up here. I think they might have, because this is, I think it's 32 inches. Okay, I'm not a code cop. It changes. Some places it's 36 inches the height, but just for its common sense, you might want to put a railing up here. The good news on the house is they did hardy board siding. This is a concrete siding. See how it's cracked there? It's not a big deal, but it is concrete board. Basically, this stuff will last forever. Okay? Well, that's good. You just need to paint it. And the paint's mostly for cosmetic reasons, anything else. Right, trims, that is not hardy board. That's that wood fiber stuff, basically cardboard. And it should be monitored and painted, and if you don't paint that stuff, that will rot out. Other thing I recommend these houses, they don't have any gutters on the very top deck up there, so the water always splashes down, wears out your shingles below, overflows the lower gutters, splashes on the siding, splashes up underneath the flashing, and leaks. And your best thing to do is just put gutters up there if you want. Ground extensions like this are notorious for getting plugged up, and I don't see where daylight's at here. Plus all this weight just crushes them underneath there. So if you're going to put something underground, it needs to be Schedule 40 real plumbing pipe, okay? With a daylighted end that you can see the end of it. And you got some minimal ventilation here. There's no ventilation there. There's no soffit or gable vents. You have a few soffit vents. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. The more ventilation for your attic, the better. You might want to put some gable vents up there. Get some more ventilation for your roof, especially when they put on the new roof. You might want to request, they might even do that, put more ventilation. Keeps your house cooler and makes your shingles last a lot longer. You can check to see if they pulled permits on all this. I don't know if this was done by the builder or not. Yeah, it looks awful bigger than a regular deck. I don't know. You know, if permits on it, they can make you tear it down or bring it up to the current code. I checked on the finished basement. You do not have permits on the basement, so that's a major issue. And you want to put covers on these, keep the rain from going in your basement. It goes into your sump pit. Water can go in underneath your finished floor there. So you just put a plexiglass cover on your window wells. Cover all your window wells. This is your sump pump pipe here, so you do have a sump pump. It's not connected very good. It's hard to tell if it drains. Yeah, I think it's draining here and there. So we'll have to take a look at that when we get inside. Bizarre about that, you got that little section of roof, no gutters here, drainer right down here. Bad design, huh? So I'll put a cover on your on here. It's probably what's splashing up here and rotting the bottom of this out. Your air conditioning compressor is sliding down the hill. Somebody shimmed it up with some wood underneath there. That's not the correct way to do it. If this thing starts moving, it's going to start pulling on your refrigerant lines here and start breaking it. Plus, these things need to be almost perfectly level for them to properly work right. Board on your, that's called a ledger board, that one inside, see the water stains down there underneath? That ledger board, improperly installed ledger board, which is supporting this whole structure, you have to remove the siding to properly get a proper attachment. Then you have to use lag bolts to attach the structural members. I don't see any, they got it covered up here with the boards. And you also need to flash the top of it so you don't get water going behind that ledger board and rotting out, and then the lag bolts on it. They could just have this just nailed up here too. So I suspect this wasn't done with a permit. And this isn't done right here. You just got a couple of sistered ledger boards here. No joist hangers, that's just toe nailed in. Not the correct way of doing it. It should be joist hangers there. And I don't know what's holding this up. It's magic. There's no joist hanger there. And none over there. It's magic. I don't know how this is staying up, to be honest with you. Should have hurricane clips over here, and these things should be on caissons, not a slab that can move up and down. We don't know if it's got caissons underneath here or not, so looks like it has moved a little bit this way. If it doesn't move anymore, who cares? But if it starts moving, you have to put proper supports under these 4x4 posts. You don't have any gutters up there, and you see that's rotting out the side, the underlayment there at the edge. I don't want to get gutters on here. It constantly drips here. Doesn't really hurt anything, but it's a mystery where this underground extension goes here in the front. It should come right out here and have a hole. And it should be, like I say, real plumbing pipe, not this flex stuff. It just crushes underneath there. I think this was your original porch right here. And they put this on afterwards. So this wasn't done with a permit either. I'm pretty sure you can check. Like I say, they can make you tear it down and bring it up to the current code. Also, this might not have enough slope on it for these kind of shingles. Okay. So this was done after the builder. You can see the new kind of shingles they got, as opposed to the old 3-tabs. They don't hardly even make these anymore. So this is after builder construction, probably without a permit. This probably needs to be rolled roofing. Probably not enough slope for shingles. What happens is ice dams up and the water backs up underneath the shingles. That's why you can't use shingles on a low slope roof like this. You do have an unusual amount of cracking here. You can actually just go ahead and they have a concrete type caulk that goes on here. It's a special kind of caulk for hardy board concrete siding, and it's kind of getting oxidized. Doesn't really matter with this stuff, but you can paint it if you want. Painting this concrete siding is for cosmetics. Painting this stuff here will keep it from rotting out. Two different materials. Looks like they did flash it, but the code now is when you flash these roofs like this, you need to caulk the nails up here on this flat roof here. Here's a close-up view of what I'm talking about. The south slope of your shingle. See, the granules are all gone. It's worn out. Granules just come off because they're not very good shingles anyway. They don't hardly make these anymore. They do this kind of shingle now. A breaker panel here. Got 150 amps coming in, so you just throw that down. You are full up here, and I don't know how they finished the basement. I know they didn't pull a permit for it. You also have an improper GE breaker to Siemens box. You're not supposed to do that. And we'll see if they got a sub panel to the basement. I don't see any. This is new wiring here. This looks like new wiring here too. This here, see this?
Mm-hmm. It's nice and shiny still.
Yeah, I don't know, is that Siemens? I can't tell. You got a water stain here in your garage. It's from improper flashing. That should be all part of your new roof. They should put new flashing in. See the tape here coming off here?
Yep.
Those I don't like these side springs. They just don't work very good. You might want to eventually put a center spring in here if you want to do it right. They have a tip over device. See the little guy getting squished here?
Yep.
So your glazing getting a little beat up here, your gasket, and you don't have screens on this window here. Up here in the attic looks pretty good. I don't see any water stains. Somebody's been walking around up here and disturbed your insulation. Now you got footprints all over everywhere, and that kind of dissipates the insulation value. Other than that, you're fine up here. Looks good. You have some water stains or condensation on your B-vent fluid pipe, a little excessive up there, see it? Right there and there. You got a noisy fan here.
You can hear it all the way up there.
Yeah, this is this fan here. Yeah.
Turn it off. I still hear it out here.
Still hear it? Oh, what is that?
What is that making that noise?
The water hammer we hear here.
It's right there.
Yeah, right in here.
That's the sump pump.
Oh man. Get my flashlight. Give it back to me. I got it. Yeah, you got a water hammer here. Yeah, look at that. Wow. So there's a way you can do that because they got a water hammer device you can put in here.
Why did they 90 that like that?
I think that was part of the water hammer thing to alleviate it, but it didn't work. We wouldn't have known about that. Slow drain in your tub here. At least you might want to put an alarm on your sump pit pump here in case it overflows. Oh, heating the bathroom here. Oh yeah, you don't have any cold air in this basement, and I know they don't have a permit on the basement. I checked with the county, actually Commerce City. Well, the hot water heater is probably put in without a permit. It's relatively new. The issue I have is the draft situation. First of all, you're supposed to do a foot rise before you do an elbow. You have to have a 1 inch per foot, or no, 1/4 inch per foot slope on the flue pipe. This pipe should be a double wall B-vent flue pipe too, as close as it is to this combustible door here. Yeah, you have to have 6 inches of clearance, plus it goes down here. So this is all done wrong, okay? So this needs to be redone by a plumber that knows about ducting, or he properly
Nose code.
knows putting in flue pipes. Okay, the furnace is up and running anyway. We'll take a look inside there. It needs to be cleaned and serviced. Need to change your filter for sure. Got all kind of air leaks everywhere here. Yeah, it's just leaking air everywhere because it wasn't sealed up. Okay, so we got leaking carbon monoxide here. That little flue connection to your hot water, or your furnace here. And we're at 6 parts per million. Not supposed to be leaking any. And you can see where the stains are in there if you look real close. See the rust stains there. That's leaking monoxide out of that connection. So they need to connect that better back up. Probably use that 2,000 degree caulk in there, that pink stuff. We'll try it on the other side, see what happens. That may be leaking too. You're up to 8 on this other side over here where it's leaking. So yeah, you don't want that leaking off. So you need to get that sealed up, okay? Hot water heater, it's off center. Here you see the carbon monoxide leaking out of there because the draft hood's not centered on here. You're missing flue screws, and you may have to have a 4-inch draft diverter and flue coming out of here, depending on the code out here and the manufacturer's recommendations for this ream. So your furnace is major dirty in here. I don't think this has ever been cleaned or serviced, and it's a good way to, number one, avoid the warranty on it, and it's going to shorten the life of it. It won't last 20 years. So you need to have this taken apart and cleaned and serviced at the very least, and having that CO leak fixed too. Pretty much the conclusion of the inspection here at East 112th Place here at 10990.